Jai Hind everyone. Today we are going to study chapter 3 of economics class 9, that is poverty or poverty as challenge. Poverty can be defined as lack of daily requirement of livelihood like food, clothing, education, etc. So when someone is lacking the basic necessities of life, which are food, clothing or shelter, things like this are very essential in life and a person is called to be poor or entire family is said to be poor. A poor could be landless laborer in village of anywhere or people living in overcrowded cities in urban areas. This poor is not only dominant in the rural India but it is seen and prevalent in urban area equally. So therefore we can say that poverty is a scenario which can be observed in urban, suburbs as well as rural area. Now, the third point, every fourth person in India is poor. India has the largest single concentration of poor in the world. Now, this is a very important thing to be thought of here. That is why we have included this chapter in the syllabus, because thinking about poverty, it is a major problem of our economy and there has to be ways to come out of it, which the government is trying to put in efforts constantly. Also, there has to be a change in the mindset of the people. People have to shift from the vicious traditional cycle to the virtuous cycle, which we have already discussed in the class of chapter 2, that was people as resource, that how we can convert these poor ones to the prosperous ones. Now, poverty as seen by social scientists. The social scientists are nothing but these people who are doing research and they have put their life on daily basis. They are seeing how people are living their life, what are the social economic conditions of the people, what are the problems of the people. So those scientists who are working in the field of society, who are trying to uplift the society, are called social scientists. So there are two terms given by them. Let's see them one by one. First, social exclusion. For analysis of poverty, social exclusion is very useful. As per this concept, poverty must be seen in terms of poor living only in a poor surrounding with other poor people. Now, what is social exclusion? This is basically when you lack somebody in terms of benefit, in terms of some advantages or facilities. If any one of three is lagging, you call somebody socially excluded. For example, in our country, we have caste system. So caste system is a problem. Because of this, people try to exclude others on the basis of categorization, on the basis of different ways. Similarly, there could be a social exclusion on the basis of color, or let's say the gender, and so on. And when they are creating this discrimination, whenever a social exclusion is being created, three things are lagging. The benefits are not being shared, the facilities which are available to everyone, that is not there, and the advantages of the good life, a happy life, is not being shared with all. Next term, that is vulnerability. Vulnerability is nothing. It describes greater probability of being more adversely affected than other people, which is done due to earthquake or simply a fall in the availability of job. Now, what does this mean? Vulnerability is nothing but it's a probability terms. It is giving the figure in the probability terms. It is the people who are already poor or those who are falling in the track of being poor. So they all are under the risk of remaining poor. Maybe because they are poor from past decades, or maybe they are on the risk, on the edge of becoming poor. So who are these people who are on the edge of becoming poor? Mostly those who are hit by earthquake, some natural disaster and so on. And the ones who will remain poor and were poor from last decade could be somebody who is not able to get the resources and is trapped in different financial situations. So those type of people will also be included here. So it basically includes two things. One, the ones who are there. Other, those who have a risk of becoming poor. So it gives you nothing but the probability of the people who are poor or who have the risk of becoming poor. Now the next term, that is poverty line. Now it is very important for a country to measure its poverty. And to measure this poverty, we have poverty line. This poverty line cannot be different for the entire nation, although the rate of development of different states is not the same. So we have to keep one poverty line, one single poverty line to compare state to state. So that changes with time, and on that basis one poverty line is created for rural, the other one is created for the urban area, and through that we compare region to region. The poverty line is a way which is used to identify the poor. It is a method used to measure poverty. In this method, poverty is measured with the help of consumption and income level of the people. Now this is something to be thought of, that income and consumptions are the two parameters on which we can measure poverty. Either we take per person consumption, how much they are consuming per day, what level of calories are they consuming. On the other side, it is on income basis. So if it has to be calorie basis, then it has to be a fixed number in terms of calorie per consumption, which is 2400 for the rural India and 2100 for the urban India. And when we talk of income, then there are two poverty lines that are given by the government, and which compares the poverty of various areas. If the level of income and consumption falls below the minimum level of income and consumption of this line, then the person is considered to be poor. So there could be three situations: below the poverty line, on line, that is at par the poverty line, and above the poverty line. Now let's have a look at the estimates of the poverty of India. This comes from the economic survey some years back, and according to this, the poverty ratio in the year 1973 is 55% and 30% in 2009 and 10, which shows a decline in the poverty ratios, because it came down to 26% in 2000 and it was 36% in 1994. So there is a strict dip of the number of people living below poverty line when we see some decades after the independence and now. So this is a great achievement for our country, and it has to be further brought down. This figure, which is coming out to be 26, has to be further brought down. Now the next important term that comes here is, who are these vulnerable group in our country? So these are the people which we have already discussed who come under vulnerability. Now there are certain groups, certain communities which are on the high risk of becoming vulnerable. In India, proportion of people below poverty line is also not same for social groups and economic categories. Now this keeps on varying. Scheduled caste and scheduled tribes household are vulnerable to poverty in social groups. In same direction, rural agricultural labor household and the urban casual labor households are vulnerable to poverty in economic categories. Now here is a graph from the NCERT. From here we can see that the SCs and the STs, they are the people who are on the urge of becoming poor and are already poor. Whereas when we see on the urban side, it is the casual labor. You can see on the rightmost bar graph that shows 33% of the people of the casual labor are the people who are categorized as vulnerable. Whereas when we talk of the rural, these laborers are mostly engaged in agricultural activity. That's why it says agricultural rural laborer, which comes up to be 40%. Let's go ahead. Global poverty scenario. Now, as we have already discussed, that poverty has to be one specific number when it comes to country, and there has to be one poverty line. Now, how to compare poverty worldwide? How to give a comparison all over the world? For that, we have global poverty scenario, which is given by World Bank. It gives set index, like currently it says 1.9 US dollars. If any person who is getting less than this for a single day, then that person is considered